Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And you know what? Xbox really just can't escape the rumors this year. On one side, they have an interesting lineup of games and more studios than ever before to really feed their brand. And you would think with that, there would be this insurmountable amount of hype among their fans. But that's not really what's happening, because instead, it's their more multi-platform strategy that's kind of loomed over their head. Now, I do believe that this is Microsoft's fault. People like Satya Nadella and Amy Hood. Ultimately, since the Activision Blizzard acquisition, they've kind of taken power away from the Xbox team. They want that immediate return on investment. And because of their decisions, fans kind of have questions about their future because, truth be told, they opened up Pandora's box. Now, suddenly, with every game that they announce, there will be people out there that have that question. Will this too come over to PlayStation and Nintendo? Now, maybe not today, but there's also that question, what about later? This is ultimately what Microsoft has done to themselves, and we're once again seeing that today thanks to a new rumor by Tom Warren over at The Verge. According to him, more Xbox games are being considered for that multi-platform strategy, which includes a game that really might surprise longtime Xbox fans. Now, I will say this rumor is believable because everything that we've seen this year, but at the same time, I also believe that it's being wildly misinterpreted. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that here in just a second. Now, do stay tuned for some Final Fantasy and Yooka-Replaylee news as well. But yeah, let's just go and get right into this Xbox report/rumor. So like I said a moment ago, this is coming from Tom Warren, who has a good reputation when it comes to Xbox news. He's done a fairly good job in the past at accurately reporting things. And according to him, he's heard that Xbox is considering more multi-platform games. Now, that is something that I do want to emphasize here, though. This is the one big oversight that I've seen a lot of fans online and really even news outlets make. Considering is the key word to this entire article. In other words, nothing is set in stone for the time being. And to be completely honest with you, I've said this before, and I'll go and say it again here. I believe that Microsoft is going to look at every game and at least consider whether it makes sense for it to be multi-platform or not. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that every game that gets considered will just automatically go multi-platform. That's not what this means, but they will at least consider it. And I don't think that that's overly shocking based on everything that we already know. But what's happening here today is that Tom Warren mentioned that they are considering more multi-platform games, including Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Age of Mythology Retold, Hellblade 2, Starfield, Doom: The Dark Ages, and then the one that's just absolutely blowing up online right now, a new Halo remaster that's currently in early development for Xbox and possibly PlayStation as well, if they decide that it fits their new multi-platform strategy. Now, again, nothing is confirmed here. Nothing is in active development. Considering is the key word. So let's just go and kind of keep that in mind. But what we'll do here is we'll talk in hypotheticals. So hypothetically, if this actually becomes a reality, and that's still an if as of now, but if it does, then that would mark a major shift for the Xbox brand. I think in a situation like that, it's important for Microsoft to kind of understand the ramifications of what they're doing, because yeah, that could potentially change how a lot of fans view the Xbox brand. You know, Halo is such an important piece, an important franchise for Xbox and its fans. To this day, you could easily make a case that it is still the face of Xbox after all of these years. And by putting it on PlayStation, I would imagine that a lot of longtime Xbox fans would have mixed emotions, to say the least. Now, I will say this much, though. I think Halo would have success on PlayStation. I mean, we could even debate that it could revitalize the franchise in certain ways because, first off, it's a great series. But also, I think a lot of PlayStation fans would be interested in their rival's most impactful franchise. So yes, I think that it would find success on PlayStation. But I think the important question for Microsoft to ask themselves is that success in detriment to the Xbox brand, and is it the right move for their long-term goals? Like, I understand Microsoft's logic here. Since they acquired Activision Blizzard, they want that immediate return on investment. But there is that concern that what they're doing is a little short-sighted. I think that's the internal debate that's going on within Microsoft versus Team Xbox right now. I mean, we've heard that not everybody within Xbox agrees with the strategy. And I think the reason for that is because technically, by making these games multi-platform, of course, they're going to sell more, but that also means that they might struggle to sell consoles, which is also important to their business as well. I mean, think about it this way. A large portion of their Xbox Game Pass subscriptions comes from their console fan base, and if less consoles are sold, that could impact their subscriptions as well. Maybe not for this generation, but possibly for next generation. Then on top of that, they would also lose out on that 30% cut that they could get with every third-party game sold on their platform. So it is kind of a complex situation that impacts multiple parts of the Xbox business. And that's why I think that there's internal strife when it comes to this strategy. There's two sides of the coin here. But I'll ask you all, which side do you fall on? Do you think that they should make games like Halo multi-platform, or do you think it's better for them to keep it exclusive? Now, with all of that said, though, despite these rumors, we are still hearing that Microsoft wants future consoles, and they also want exclusives as well. Gears of War 6, as one such example, is being listed as an Xbox exclusive. So it kind of sounds like they're trying to balance this entire strategy, but it's definitely a tough message to convey to fans, and that's something that we're really seeing right now. I think for this generation, Xbox will just kind of continue as normal. People have already bought into their Xbox consoles, but come next generation, when the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox releases, that's when it's going to get interesting to see how Xbox fans react when some of their games might be on PlayStation as well, if they continue with this strategy. That's kind of the thing about all of this right now, though, because we're still talking in hypotheticals. All we know for today, though, is that Microsoft might be considering certain games for multi-platform, but nothing is set in stone either. Now, moving on, though, we also got an update for one of the most successful Kickstarter games ever made, being Yooka-Laylee, the Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor. Now, personally, I like this game. I was one of its backers, but I also understand that a lot of people weren't satisfied with the final release. It definitely had mixed reception, if anything else, but interestingly, Playtonic is set to release a remaster sometime here soon, Yooka-Replaylee. They just released a trailer that showcases its visual upgrade, and based on its description, it sounds like there will be some quality of life improvements as well. You can see here where they said Yooka-Replaylee is the definitive remastered and enhanced version of the 3D indie platforming collectathon darling Yooka-Laylee 2017, developed by key creative talent behind the Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong Country games. New remix challenges and old favorites await as you embark to explore the huge, beautiful open worlds as the lovable buddy duo Yooka and Laylee once more, all while backed by a beautiful orchestral soundtrack. Did we mention there's a map now, a shiny new currency, and tons of customization options? The favorite buddy duo has never moved, looked, or sounded better. So this is a little bit of a surprise, and right now we don't have an exact release date, price, or if it'll have an upgrade path, but I almost kind of wonder if this could be an appetizer for a brand new game that's coming in the relative near future. Maybe another 3D Yooka-Laylee, or hey, they could tackle a completely different genre, similar to what they did with the Impossible Lair. Either which way, though, hopefully this remaster will deliver more of what fans originally wanted from this game in the first place. Now, one last thing that I want to talk about here, though, is Final Fantasy Tactics. I know a lot of fans have really wanted this series to return, and it sounds like that finally might happen after all. So there's actually two different things here that we need to discuss. The first of which is an interview with Yoshi P, where he mentioned that his team is working on 2 unannounced games, and interestingly, he hinted that it's probably time for another Final Fantasy Tactics. So that's already a pretty good indication for Final Fantasy Tactics, but there's actually a little bit more here, because the prominent leaker Midori said this: the remastered version of Final Fantasy Tactics is still in development. It was not a project at Square Enix that was canceled. So, yeah, she's been one of the more accurate leakers over the past year, and this does kind of lean into what Yoshi P said. Now, it sounds like it's not a brand new entry per se, but honestly, I think that's okay. We saw Square Enix remaster Tactics Ogre a year or so back, and if they could just do that with Final Fantasy Tactics and give it some good quality of life improvements like they did with that game, I mean, it's still one of the best tactics RPGs ever made, and, this would only make it that much better. So, hopefully all of this actually turns out to be true, and hey, with a few showcases right around the corner, maybe, just maybe, we could get more of an official announcement sooner rather than later. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but as always, do hit that subscribe button, and until next time, peace out.